And there we are, live on YouTube with Sharon and Lynn, and we are reading Awake, It's Your Turn.
Yes, we are, because it's time to wake up, America. We're
Yeah,
all love.
wake, wake, wakey, 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 wakey. Let's see what I do here. I gotta get the book. Here we go. There we are. There. And there we are.
Did you have people there last night? Because I couldn't make it. It was at Jonathan's birthday.
Last night, oh yeah, it was really nice. It was, we didn't even read the book at all. We
Just, you just talked.
we just talked, and when we talked about feelings, and we went through the feelings charts and the I talked about the needs and feelings charts and stuff from NBC, and it was good. But happy birthday to your boy. um
Thank you. Yours too.
Love to have the Aquarius boys. They are the ones that are, like, I mean, seriously, I know your son is a you know very loving guy, and my son is
Both
amazing.
my boys. This one, the little one lives here. The little one, he's 42, and the older one is 46. I don't even believe he's 46. He's my first.
Yeah, when is his birthday?
He'll be 47 in August. Yeah.
August. August, what
He's
day?
the one that's really into like you
The
know, the
environmental.
politics stuff. Yeah, he's
Yeah,
an activist for human rights.
human rights, thank God. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, needless to say that he really took this whole thing really hard. So it's just a horrible thing to happen.
Yeah.
I,
Well,
I mean, what the fact is the problem I have. Oh, you have us on YouTube?
yeah,
Okay.
that's okay.
Well, I just hope that everybody's all right. I'm going to stop now and I'm going to read. Okay.
All right, yeah.
Micromanaging life. We live in a society of myriad and easily available distractions. Consider the recently acquired appendage that has suddenly appeared on humans' bodies worldwide. Mystifying scientists, almost overnight, this abrupt evolutionary development we call the smartphone has dramatically transformed how we communicate and how we spend our time. Stop there. That is just so amazing to me. How gradually source is bringing us into the computer world by holding the phone until we finally are the phone, which we are anyway.
Yeah.
Those, yeah, we are. Those little gadgets have the power to captivate our attention in innumerable
Innumerable.
ways. I have nothing against smartphones per se. They are a practical and useful device. But compare a room full of people today to a similar group before smartphones were invented, and you'll see what I'm getting at. Add to all the other screen devices, television, laptops, tablets, video games, PCs, and we've got a veritable cacophony of distractions that can easily dominate our lives. On top of all the electronic distractions, we in, inundate ourselves with hobbies, pastimes, activities, social obligations, and on. Just as there are personality traits that tend toward escapism and avoiding responsibility, there are others that cause us to overmanage life. These tendencies can lead to ongoing distraction with activities, management, and details, resulting in wasted energy and even exhaustion.
I just want
It's
to say
not
something real quick before we go on.
okay.
Talking about these smartphones, if it were not for everybody having a phone, being able to just put on a recorder, take pictures, take videos of things that they are seeing in this world, in the streets, I mean, that fellow was holding a phone.
I know that.
He was videoing someone who was being mistreated.
Right. He was trying
And
to
that
help that
phone,
woman.
that terrified those guys because they did see it as a weapon. They may not, it was not a weapon, it was not a gun, it was not, it was a phone,
It's a
but
phone.
they knew they were being outed. And just like every time else, as soon as they notice that someone is showing what they're doing, it outrages them and they become like a wild animal.
Yeah,
I
they
just
become
saw
insane.
a thing. I just saw a thing on TikTok, and it was not about phones or anything. It was about bears, and it was showing that um, a bear, if you, and I don't know if this is absolutely true. I wouldn't trust it, but I definitely would, more than anything. If a bear is coming towards you, and you hold up a weapon, a gun, that bear will back away and run away. And they showed over and over and over these videos of bears, when when the weapon was a bit was there, it freaked them out. They ran away. Or bear spray. If someone had bear spray on them, now it's not because they see it, oh, they're going to shoot me. They can smell the gunpowder. They can smell the bear spray, and they know that it's dangerous. And so it's this the smell of it that makes them afraid and makes them run away. And I found that so fascinating, and I'm going to really investigate that because it's hard to imagine that that's true, but they were showing examples of it over and over and over. And so I had to believe that there has to be some truth to it. Um, that even a bear, if it smells gunpowder, knows enough to get the heck out of there. Anyway, but the
The thing is, like these, but they didn't have to. The problem I have is that I think, well, it's just problematic that they're not telling the truth about what happened to that young man.
right, even though
That's
there's video confirmation of it, just like with
right.
the woman Renee Good, that they had people all over who were taking videos of that, and they have videos of that from every angle. Uh, and that's what is, that's what's scaring these guys because they're seeing that they're being outed, that they're people see what they're
Boy, I
doing.
didn't even think of that, Lynn. Yeah, I didn't think of that. Like that they're really being outed for what they're doing, and they don't want that on tape.
Right. And now it's across nationwide, worldwide, global. Everybody sees
I
what
think
they're
they'll prosecute these people. I do.
they are going to. They're going to have to because and I don't know what to believe either about, did, Governor Walz send out the uh, the National Guard, which I believe that he may have done so, and that they're backing down and they're going to be leaving.
Oh,
Um,
I didn't read that. He got the National Guard.
Governor Walz, his own, because the
They
National
have
Guard,
their own National Guard. He didn't bring in like what Trump would bring in.
well, it's this, every state has their own National Guard.
Right.
Colorado has a National
Well, he's
Guard.
pleaded.
Illinois
They've
has,
been pleading with Donald Trump to get them out of here. They don't. First of all, the ICE can help us. We need them, but we don't need them like this. They become Nazis.
right. They're not helping us in any way at all.
Well, he didn't
So,
pick people. If you look at his whole cabinet, he didn't pick people that normal people would pick.
right. Yeah. People that would, a sane person would pick,
Right.
a woman that runs wrestling, the, uh, uh, like Professional Wrestling Association. She's the head of the Department of Education. They teach, they have fake wrestling like you see on TV. She's the head of that and her husband, and they put her in charge of the Department of Education.
I know. And then
Like,
she's supposed to work on this. She has no clue.
yeah. So
Well,
yeah,
I think what's very sad, but it should happen, is Christy, whatever her last name, Gnomes. she should be arrested too, because
Oh yeah,
she's flat out lying, and that will probably. I don't know if President Trump can stop that. I don't know if Trump can stop
he
him.
will not stop that. He's not going to stop. Yeah. Anyways, it's a huge. It's crazy, and we're going to see how it all plays out.
Well, the
So
gift in this is that we have this process because this is all being used for our healing. So this is raising our consciousness because it's bringing up all our self-hatred. That's
exactly,
all it's doing. It's like, you
exactly.
know, because I had a lot of that.
Yeah,
I have a
yeah,
sister. I have one sister that's a Trumper, and I spit it out the other day. I don't blah 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 about blah 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 blah, and I was like, oh God, I'm a real good course student. Look at me. But it
yeah.
just came out, and I apologized. But the bottom line is that we're just in a time now where we have to look at, because we can look at the fear or we can look at the gift in the moment. What is it? What is spirit giving us for this moment? And we have to come back to what this book is saying. He's teaching us now in his book what we run into. Like, just as there are personality traits that tend toward escapism and avoiding responsibility, there are others that cause us to overmanage life. I could see that. Yeah. These
Yeah,
tendencies can lead to ongoing distraction with activities, management, and details, resulting in wasted energy and even exhaustion. It is not uncommon for some people to fill every moment of their day with activities and tasks to actually avoid waking up. I have met people who have serious aspirations of realizing their deepest truth, but they continually overfill and overmanage their lives to the point where they undermine their own drive for realization. So let's look at that again. I have met people who have serious aspirations of realizing their deepest truth, but they continually overfill and overmanage their lives to the point where they undermine their own drive. Now, I'm going to look at that and say, I think you were in Regina's, yeah, yesterday, her
yes,
homily. The reason that she, of course, isn't interested in any of this is because it's all happening by itself. There's no Regina. So everything is just happening. It's truly just a happening,
right.
and isn't that what you got out of it, what she was saying? Or if you can,
Yeah, well, what I got a couple things out of it. Um, uh, I'm surprised that you were there. I didn't notice that you were there, or maybe you were
no,
just
you can't really see. I mean, I came in like, I didn't know she was on, and sometimes I like listening to her. It depends who's on,
right,
you know.
right. So yeah,
I was at Luigi's, oh, who's that? That's my phone? No, that's not. It's nobody. Okay, yeah. I was in Luigi's. He does the lesson on Sundays,
right.
so I was with Karen, and then I naturally just saw who was on, and then I went in. Yeah. So what did you get out of it?
I think what I got out of it was that um she said that she'd stop seeking. And I haven't we all, I mean, I've stopped seeking. I'm not seeking anymore. I just know that all this is just happening. And
Right.
I look at it and
I still
I have
read, but I'm really reading the course now. Do you know the course could never? I wasn't as open, so now it just flows right through me. You
right.
know.
And yeah, and that flowing through is really the thing. So yeah, looking at it, recognizing that uh none of it has really any meaning at all.
Right.
And, that's it. It just, everything it comes up, I can look at and say, yeah, that really has no meaning. Yeah, that really has no meaning. And even the whole idea, it's just interesting to see the, uh, the movement of things. The movement of it it's because that's really what it's doing. It's just moving and,
It's the
moving through.
Tao. It's moving through everything.
So yeah, I didn't really I mean it's really easy. It's easier and easier and easier if you live by yourself you live in a house up in the mountains where the only distractions you have are, the weather
Right.
you
Yeah.
know, it's very, very peaceful, she's where she's living. And, it's a lot easier. That's why people go to the cave, to the mountain, to the quiet place, because it is much easier to live without those distractions when you have something that's a fulfilling life right there. And so I don't, I didn't really think much about it. I thought it was interesting, but I didn't think it was,
No,
that.
of course not. I had the same takeaway. It's where everybody seems to be here too.
Yes, and that's exactly. I mean, I see it in all the time. The idea of, I'm not seeking anymore either because I found it. I have it right here. There's, and all we do now is look at, this is proving this is it. This is proving this is it. This is showing how it is. This is showing how it
But there
works.
really isn't a seeker either. There's nothing coming,
Right. There
it's
isn't.
all emptiness.
Yeah, exactly. And I think you've got it. And I think I've
Well,
got.
so I was having a lot of rage. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. I had like a definite response to what happened to a young boy like that, a young guy that was only 38 years old. I did, I looked at it formed, and that was a distraction. And so forgive myself and move on.
Well, yeah, and think about it. I mean, because of knowing that we have made, and I like how I think it's Rob Schwartz that calls it the soul contracts. Oh, I've
Right.
heard people talk about it that way as
That
well.
does help. That helps a lot. If you know you're not the ego, if you think you're the ego, like I remember when I thought I was the ego, people would say, well, you wanted this. I said, I wanted my son on drugs.
Yeah, yeah. But when you recognize that these are all parts that we set up,
Right.
that we were willing and wanting to play. I'm gonna real quick shut the share off and go do something with my screen because I don't know why we're seeing all this other junk. All right, let me try it this way. I mean, we're seeing stuff on the Zoom screen that I'm not even seeing on my own, which was weird, like the feelings chart and all that business was on the background. Let's see if this is better. There, that's better. That's less other crap. Okay. So yeah, I think, at a point, when we begin to just recognize that it's just a happening. It's just a happening. It was a, and
Roger Cosell is one of the first people that had said that, right? To me, anyway. I mean, I had Ramash's books and I had, what was the other one that I love so much? From Australia.
oh, Sailor Bob.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So I had an idea, but I didn't stop there because I had obviously whatever's living through me had to get more. Now, the one, it wasn't a mistake, but to try to hear the spirit's voice when that's all that's really here is the spirit. The other voice that you're hearing about what's going on is talking to itself. It's not talking to anyone else. It
right,
just
right.
has reaction, action, reaction.
It's kind of just narrating
Right.
the dream. It's narrating the story. And
But it's always doing it in interpretation of victim, like, oh, I can't believe it,
that's
it
right.
has drama in it.
And that's why the course is also involved in the idea of perception, that it's our perception. If I perceive it as being evil that people die, well, believe me, I'll never be happy because uh, that's the whole point of this dream is that, every character dies
Right.
in the end, and even Jesus, even though he did come back, um, but I don't even know about that whole other story about ascending into heaven and all that business. I don't even know because
Just
I've
another story. We don't need any more thought.
yeah, yeah. but the idea that uh he was able to go through all that and said, look, here I am. Yeah, this appeared to be the end of everything for me, but it's not the end because we're endless. And this thing that went through
Yeah.
all this torture and pain didn't even really exist, and I didn't even experience it as that. Which that's the thing, when you come to the place where you're not the one who's experiencing it, it's just the dream that's moving along, then you can actually uh step out of it and recognize that the it's the story. It's like you can just close the book. You're reading, Jane Eyre or um I don't know what kind of books people read these days. Some that Dan Brown book, which I'm going to look that up and find that and read it. I think it'd be really fascinating. But I mean, that's it. We're just paying attention to it because it fascinates it. And I think that's what Anthony DeMello is talking about here, or Anthony DeMello, Angelo DeLulo. I always call him Anthony DeMello. Angelo
I
DeLulo.
know, I do too, because I have his books too. I have his Audible.
ADM. Anyway, yeah, and he's like, they're both ADMs. But anyway, that's what he's talking about here, is
Yes, go
that
ahead.
we're in the paying attention to all of this. We're literally just seeing this ongoing story that is just undermining our own. We're overfilling and overmanaging our lives. We're trying to be in control.
Of something that we have no idea what's like. It's so funny to try to control the Tao is like you
Right.
can't, because it's a movement of energy going back and forth. Anyway, and I'm going to start. I'll continue reading.
Okay, let's continue reading. Yeah.
Okay. What is often underlying this is a discord between thoughts and emotions. We can use the excuse of being overcommitted or generally busy to avoid emotions in a natural and spontaneous way. I've had people tell me I get so exhausted with all my commitments that I'll make time for myself to relax with no obligations. I think of how nice it would be to just sit and meditate. Yet when I try to relax, I feel restless and uncomfortable, like I need to go do something. At this point in the conversation, I'm usually thinking, great, you finally slow down enough to start feeling what is underneath all of that frantic activity. Unfortunately, the next thing they often say is, and since I couldn't relax, I went and did XYZ. We can all relate to this at some level. However, if this pattern defines your life day in and day out, then be wary of this over managing tendency. The adjustment here is the exploration of emotion and acceptance of what is happening rather than always trying to make something happen. We will discuss specific strategies to navigate these waters in later chapters. For now, I'd suggest beginning to open to the possibility of making space for doing nothing in your life. It is important to start with baby steps. At first, just begin to recognize when a moment presents itself to sit and relax and let attention come into the direct experience of what is happening. Give yourself a moment to let the attention naturally move to the body's sensation or to the sounds and colors in the environment. Don't hold yourself to some rigid standard more management. Start where you can. Start with what feels natural and comfortable. If it's 30 seconds of silence and disengagement, then so be it. Let life come to you and show you how to attune to presence. Let natural peace and equanimity begin to reveal itself to you. These opportunities can come at any time throughout the day, so be open to the possibility. Cultivating a little receptivity in this way is helpful. The trick is to not try to manage or manufacture unmanaged space. Also, don't hold yourself to unreasonable or rigid expectations before you feel exhausted. To tell yourself, I'm just going to take an entire day off and meditate when you have difficulty relaxing for 30 minutes at a time is probably an unreasonable demand to place on yourself. It will just lead to frustration and disappointment. Remember baby steps. Goes without saying that investigating our deepest truths will require some effort on our part. We will have to be willing to be open to change. We will have to investigate or inquire in certain ways to cultivate the soil for awakening. Sometimes the work will be challenging, which often means facing difficult experiences both internally and externally. However, we don't have to have the ability to work without reprieve or in some human way. Our body minds do not naturally function in that way. If you just watch the body mind, there will be times of intense activity and times of profound relaxation. There will be times of goal directed behaviors, and there will be times of relaxed enjoyment of surroundings. Observing these variations, you learn that then letting the natural cycles governing your body and all of nature teach and inform you can be balanced with developing a structured framework for practice. Over time, what typically happens is that we learn to harmonize our practices, inquiries, and meditations with the natural movements and inclination of the body, mind, and the environment around us. A common belief that often goes unexamined is that the belief that we must work insanely hard or with machine like consistency to wake up. This is simply not true, and believing it can lead to a lot of unnecessary discouragement. Please be kind to yourself and avoid holding yourself to unnecessarily rigorous standards. And I'm going to stop here for a minute and just say, A Course in Miracles does the work for you because of the way this is set up, the book, and the way the lessons are set up. It's an unfolding, but it gradually, with those first 50 lessons, kind of just as you do them, it undoes it like pretty much completely without this. Now, I'm not saying his book doesn't, but it's different. Do you see my point at all? I don't know if
I
I'm
do,
making.
absolutely. Because, yeah, it's almost like a gentle unwinding.
Yes,
And
it's a little
I love,
different. Right, right. And you know that there's something else here. Like when I'm reading this, he hasn't gotten to that yet. You know, that there's obviously everyone knows there's something else here, but it's so obvious when you're a course student.
right. And really not so obvious that people know that because, there's a lot of people that are completely clueless and unaware of uh, the fact that there is something else and that the life we're living isn't our real life. And
No,
I've
it's
talked
not
to
our
people
real
like
life.
I've talked to my sister about this quite a bit because she is a fundamentalist Christian. And it's so funny because she grew up, she when she got married, okay, she got married when she was 14 years old. And I was 4. I
Wait a minute, are
was
you kidding me?
No, I'm not kidding you. My older sisters, 2 of them got married when they were 14, one was 15, and then the other one was 18, and well, what was wrong with her. But yes, that my family, my family are from the Ozarks. Um, I don't know if that means anything
No,
to
I
you.
don't know enough. Explain it to me.
Well, they were kind of hillbilly kind of farmer people,
Oh,
uh,
okay. Yeah.
and
Right. So it's a different culture
different
completely.
culture. And back in those days, yes, it was quite acceptable for girls to get married when they were 14 or 15 years old. In fact, it was helpful to the family to get them married out to someone who maybe the farmer boy next door, or
Right.
I mean, there was a lot of things that went on. So yes, so she was 14 years old when she got married, and she married the man she married, Gilbert. I think he was 26 or 28. I can't remember.
Now, is she still married to him?
No, they divorced. They had 6 children. Um, she um it's not good how they ended up getting divorced, but as I'm so glad that she did eventually. And she had to raise those kids basically uh on her own. And I mean, I'm telling you, she went through some crap. I mean, she was pregnant, her baby died, and she could not get um an abortion. She had to carry a dead baby.
Why?
Yeah, yeah, because the law, there you can't.
Oh, in
Uh,
those days.
yeah, and still in these days, if you're in Kansas, if you're pregnant and your baby's dead, that's too bad, so sad, because you have to carry it to term,
That can
whatever.
make you
Anyway,
sick.
yeah, she had a terrible, hard life. She married a guy, he was a miner, but as soon as they got married, they moved to Kansas, um, and then he was a farmer, and I guess he was a farmer before that, and his family were farmers. So she worked on the farm. I mean, she worked in the fields. She, she worked had a very hard, tough life. To imagine just a young girl like that. Um, she used to call my mom and be crying, and she missed home. She missed her mama. She was a little girl. But here she was out there, being a grown-up woman and having babies, and um,
Oh,
it,
that's just sad.
yeah, it just, yeah, yeah. Talk about I mean, this is one of those kind of stories that you can't believe. You read it and you can't believe it, but there it is happening in my life and my family. And yes, 3 of my sisters were just young girls, married to guys that were quite a bit older than them, um, and just having uh, having a hard life. That's a that is just all I can say. A hard life. Um,
Yeah, and you know what it is? We stay here when we have a hard life. We're here, but we always know that there'll be pleasure around the corner in some way. Something will come that will take us out of this ridiculously hard life.
yeah.
There's always that hope part of us.
Right, exactly. And that's what after she divorced Gilbert, um, met, she worked, and she worked hard. She worked in the packing house, slaughterhouse. Um, she did a lot of hard work. And then she met Marvin, who's her husband now, and he is just the sweetest man in the world and loves her beyond everything. I'm sure he is right now. Just his heart's breaking because, he thinks she's going to be gone soon, and he doesn't know what he's going to do with his life, honestly, because she is the force. She just pushes through everything and makes everything work. But uh
You have
she
to.
also has had a very, like I said, very hard life. uh but but I don't even know how we got on this, but but it's just that you know for her, she's they ended up um uh Marvin, he was Catholic, of course, too. But then her first husband was some fundamentalist Christian. I don't remember what it was, but um, I know I went to visit them, in and I would spend like 3 or 4 weeks with them in the summer during harvest time. So I would take care of the kids while they were out harvesting the wheat and doing all the work. But they went to this church where, it scared the crap out of me because, people were, crying and jumping around and, there was a lot of, boy, talk about sin, there was a lot of condemnation and all that kind of stuff going on. And I went the first time and then I went there, I was like freaked out. And then I said, no, I can't do this. And so they would drop me off at the Catholic church, which would last for an hour. Their church lasted like 4 hours. So they would drop me off at the church and I would go to mass like 4 times. I would just be there until they came to pick me up. Because, I could the
That
Catholic.
was therapeutic for you.
Yeah. Have you ever been into a Catholic church?
Oh my God, have I ever? I love it.
Yeah, I mean, they are a place of peace and calm and
Yeah.
just quiet joy. So I just spend a lot of time um really meditating. I didn't know what that was, but that's what I was doing a lot of the time. Um in
When
in
I was in the 12 steps, I went to the Catholic Church with friends here in Altoona, or my family. My cousin's married to somebody who's Catholic, so I would go and think, I just love this because it's. But if you ever went to synagogue, that when they start singing, that's also beautiful.
yeah,
It's just
I'm
a little
sure.
different, but they're so similar in so many ways. But the Catholic Church, when they do things, I don't know, because I think it's like, I think that the love of Jesus is a little easier sometimes for the body mind to really latch onto than in Judaism. They have no, they don't have anybody to look to. It's all just formless.
Yeah.
So it's,
Interesting. I've never been to a synagogue either, so I had to go check that out. But I the one here in town, um, I'm just, I'm kind of, I follow them on Facebook and all, and I had to quit following them because they were putting in so much hate about uh,
what's going on in Israel.
the yeah they were
Palestinian.
Ilhan Omar, the politicians in America that are Muslim, they were just posting hate upon hate upon hate. These, they're trying to kill us all, and they're not. These guys are not. It's not the
But that's
same.
what happens to the ego. It latches on.
It latches on and it thinks that
Right.
all of them are the same. That all
I
Muslims
mean,
are the same.
the mayor of New York, I love him.
I know he's just amazing,
Love him.
and
But I've had people in my family say, oh no, he's this, he's that. And he's not any of
yeah,
those.
yeah, because they don't look beyond that uh
Right.
the
Yeah.
story. They just see what they're believing is true. And that's what it's fostering more hate. Why
Well, let
would
me
you
say
want to
this. If
foster
there
more
were
hate?
Jews being killed now, my siblings would be devastated. They'd
Yes,
be, but there's immigrants being killed and they're not
right,
Jewish. To me, it's the same thing. They're all the same. What's the difference between a Jew and an immigrant? We're all immigrants, aren't we?
right. Yes, yes. I mean,
I tried to explain that the other day to my sister, because, I was just saying that I don't like, that he was using immigrants. But the thing is, in our story, in the whole story, immigrants used in every tragic story that's ever been made, every fairy tale. That's just another thing. Just like Jews were used as archetypes to put our hatred onto, and blacks. Now,
exactly,
this is where I
exactly.
have a little bit of a like. They're canceling every black thing now. I don't sign on to that.
Oh, I
They
know well, they're just trying to run away from a past that they can't. If you want to make a fantasy, a fiction about, white people being the only good ones, then you have to get rid of anything that says, they ever did anything bad. And it's impossible. You're erasing our history. You're
Right.
erasing our um, the what it is that makes us one with humanity.
Well, these should
Because
be reparations for them completely from the beginning. But who in the heck? That's what Mary Ann does say, I think. The reparations for the Black community, because first of all, Jesus was probably Black.
right,
So get with the program, okay? Because it's where he was born. But the point is that I would have absolutely no problem dating anybody that was not white. I wouldn't see that as an issue, but the world does. I have
yeah,
no
the world
issues.
does.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Now he's
I'm
saying, all right, should we get back to this? Okay.
sure.
Please
Okay.
be kind to yourself and avoid holding yourself to unnecessary, rigorous standards. He's saying that because our ego mind does say, look at you, you're not getting it like her, you'll never get it. Don't judge yourself too harshly when things aren't going how you expected or planned for them to. There will be times when you had planned to meditate or practice, and then it doesn't happen for one reason or another. There will be times when you feel disciplined and practice seems to just flow along blissfully. There will be times when you feel hopelessly unfocused and distracted. There is no need to make a judgment about yourself due to any of these conditions. Just recognize that everything in nature is in flux and that this is all quite natural. These fluctuations happen to all of us. You will go through these cycles many times, so it is best to just accept that we are human and humans aren't always consistent. In these instances, you might also notice a tendency to judge yourself. I'm never going to wake up. I can't even keep to a simple schedule. Boy, is he right. Everyone has these thoughts. They are perfectly normal. I had those thoughts more times than I can count. The important thing is to recognize that these are just thoughts. See, these thoughts are just coming in. They don't belong to one person. They just belong to the sunship. If we don't give them too much attention, they will come and go just like any other thought. A little effort on reasonably consistent basis is plenty. If you happen to go for some time without any sort of practice or attention to your path, it's okay. When practice or curiosity returns naturally, there's no need to look back and make a big deal and missed opportunities. By the time you've noticed it, the moment had already passed. So don't beat yourself up. Let the past rest.
Okay,
Okay,
so
so now it is 10. All right, I can read another paragraph.
yeah,
Be prepared to be uncomfortable.
well, let's not start this next section because
All right,
it
okay,
is
that
like
works for me.
10:28,
Yeah.
and
All right, I'll be right back. I have to check on something.
okay, all right. I'm just going to go ahead and stop the share here. And actually, I'm going to stop the YouTube. And thank you all for hanging out with us while we discuss and read Angelo DeLullo's